Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on Their Fight Story. I have Eddy George with us. Eddie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Excellent.
You started your career in 2017.
Yes.
Where did you expect this to go?
When I first started my career,
Hmm.
um, that's a great opener. So when I first started, before I even had my first fight, I was in and out of the gym. I was very inconsistent. And then Nick gave me a talk. He's like, "Listen, iron sharpens iron. Need you in there."
Hmm.
So I had a big talk with myself. I was like, "I'll give myself a solid year, and if I can show I have promise in that year, then I'll step it up." So I gave myself that year, and then within that year, I won a Naga at intermediate division. I had my first smoker. I did my first MMA fight, all within 6 months of that. And what I took from that is, wow, I belong. I lost my first MMA fight, but I took it away. What I took away from that fight was a win because I went against a very tough opponent and I learned a lot about myself. And I was proud of myself for that loss. It didn't bother me. So after that, I knew I belonged. And it was just, being very consistent in the gym and just
Hmm.
growing my skill set.
How did you decide that you wanted to be, not be, but train martial arts?
I love martial arts. I've only done combat sports. I've never even put on a baseball glove, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, like after the Weighins day, we're at the Basketball Hall of Fame, and I'll blame it on being very depleted. But I was like, I had my camera guy with me, and he was just like capturing stuff. He's like, "Oh, shoot the basketball, it'll be good." So I was like, "It won't trust me." He's like, "Just do it." I missed so bad. There were young kids all around. I didn't feel pressure, but I was like, "Man, I kind of got to sink this shot." I couldn't have missed any worse. It was like I'm I'm very good at combat sports, but that's about it. So martial arts has always been like right up my alley. I've always enjoyed it. I started traditional martial arts when I was 8 years old at doing Taekwondo.
Okay.
I got my black belt in that. I stopped doing it right before I got my second degree black belt, and I started going down different avenues. Started wrestling, stuff like that. Dabbled in boxing a little bit, but I've always loved martial arts.
Nice. And where are you currently training?
Fighting Arts Academy, and we're in Milford now, Milford, Connecticut, but
Oh,
FACT.
nice.
Yeah.
Now, you were fighting before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and now kind of after the pandemic.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
weird spot now.
yeah. How is it? Like, can you walk us through like the different stages? Because you've actually been through every single stage.
Yeah, for sure. So before the pandemic, it was just, normal. I don't really know how to. It was it was just your typical. You show up, you weigh in,
Yeah.
you fight, after parties, whatnot,
Yeah.
and then go home. During the pandemic, it was very very tight. It was my first time ever experiencing like an actual fight week, like if I was in the UFC or something like that, where you had
Yeah.
to report days ahead because of the COVID restrictions. You had to do the multiple testing.
Yes.
But you would have to isolate yourself. So I was stuck in a room in between those tests. And then fight day, you do your fight, you're in the back. Once the fight's over, it's like, all right, go, bye.
Yeah.
Like, and then you have to like be gone in your hotel room, off the premises. That's what they say. So, and then now where I'm at now, how Wayne's went today was very good. It was actually a lot smoother and faster than even before the pandemic. Um, it wasn't like crazy COVID. Like everyone that works in promotion had masks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to worry about anything. Wayne's was a breeze in and out. Ceremony Wayne's was a breeze in and out. And then now I'm in my hotel room and I don't have to quarantine or anything like that. So it kind of feels like before the pandemic ever happened again, which I love. I'm happy about that.
Now, how was your? You said you guys had weigh-ins today. How did that feel? And how
Yep.
was like cutting weight to get to this point?
Um, my weight, I for the first time ever, uh, I finally was on a solid strength and conditioning program. I've been lifting
Hmm.
weights consistently now for a year for the first time ever in my life. So in that year, yeah, I've It's that shit's too heavy. But yeah, no. So I packed on a little bit more muscle before this fight, but my weight cut was actually one of the best weight cuts I've ever had. I knew going into it, having more muscle mass, that it could be a little bit more difficult. So I was very disciplined throughout my camp, and it paid off in the long run. It was, like I said, my best cut, and I weighed in officially at 155.2. So sorry about that. I try not to. They give you that 1 pound allowance.
Yeah.
But I don't. I try not to.
Yeah. You can't risk it.
I want to rely on a crush. It's like, oh, you get a +1. It's like, I don't need a +1.
Yeah.
If I can, I'll try to make champion weight every time.
Just like a champ.
Just like the champ. Just like a champ. The people's champ. Right? I don't have a belt yet.
Yeah, but you're putting it into existence, right?
I am. I will have the CES title very soon.
Nice.
Very soon. That is a promise. That is a promise.
How have you trained differently for this particular fight?
How with my camp and my team, how we structure a fight camp is I have a certain facets that I'm very good at. I don't know. I was trying to think of a really fancy word for you, but I didn't have one. I don't know if that's the right word. But my game plan is to just keep getting better at what I do best, and then evolving the rest of my game along with it. It's my coaches and my teammates in camp's job to study who my opponent is, what they're good at, their strengths, and then on the side of keep growing and progressing in my skill set, game plans and strategies come into play as the fight weeks tick further and further closer to fight day. So my training doesn't change much other than, close to the fight day, we get a little more game plan and strategy oriented, but we just keep on focusing on what I do good, what I'm best at, and my strong points. I try not to focus on, oh, this guy does this, I need to work on. At the end of the day, I personally feel if a fighter relies too much on worrying about what their opponent does good or is really good at, or overstudy film, then you're just going to look for those things in a fight, and you might not get that, and you might find you don't open up like you should because you're just waiting for this tell that you've seen in a couple fights. So I just focus on doing what I do best, and then it's my team's job to bring everything into game plan for the individual I'm fighting.
Nice. Who's your head coach?
Nick Newell.
Okay. How are you guys able to balance the training when you're preparing for a fight camp and he's preparing?
So we're main training partners. Nick plays so many roles in my life. He's my mentor, my coach, my friend. But I don't. Maybe once, I'm not sure. I don't think it's ever been where he's had a fight and I've had a fight at the same exact time. I could be wrong. I don't have the best memory and stuff like that. I kind of but either or, we're main training partners. Yeah. So we help each other. This camp, he didn't spar with me any this camp, but I asked for that. I wanted him to focus more on just watching me and bringing people to give me looks for this camp specifically instead of just sparring with me. And that's the only thing that changed. But besides that, we've always been main training partners with each other. We always work together. We do very well together.
And who is currently managing you?
Tyson Charrier.
Okay. And how do you feel that it's Top Game, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Top
so Game. How do you feel that Top Game is influencing you in a positive way in your career?
One, Tyson's a dynamite of a person. He's a great guy. I've known Tyson for years. Before I was even managed by him in my amateur days, I got pretty close with him. He's a great guy. And just the Top Game name is a staple when it comes to management teams. Calvin and Rob have bust through the scene on in the UFC and really kind of help pave the way for us guys coming up.
Yeah.
Going from the local shows to like the bigger stages, like the CES and stuff like that, to help get us, you know, to where we need to be, where we want to be and belong, like in the UFC, Bellator, or wherever, you know, each individual wants to go and their plan is. So it definitely helps to being a top game guy. Everyone has to pull their own weight, and it's an individual sport. So like, just because I'm managed by them doesn't mean I get a special ticket or anything like that. I still have to fight. I still have to win. I still have to train, all that stuff. But, you know, knowing that I have my skill set and I have their backing, that little bit of extra confidence to help push me forward and to get, you know, let me know I'm going in the right direction. I'm doing all the right things.
How important is it to have a good management team?
It's huge. It's huge. It's you need, people sleep on a manager, and that's one thing that I don't get. Like, I hear guys like get mad about paying their manager, get mad about doing things, get mad at them, but they're like, sometimes, I mean, a manager is huge. You need a good manager. You need someone that you can trust. You need someone that's going to step up for you. You know, whether it's a fight contract money-wise or just doing what's best for your career, you need to have, and that goes with a great manager, a great coach. You need these people that care about your well-being and that you could just put your trust into their hands and know that they're going to lead you in the right direction no matter what.
I'm laughing because I see that you're being very, very careful on the words you're using.
No, no,
it's like
it's scripted. No. I'm trying to. I don't plan what I say, so a lot of times I'm like, oh man, that's a good question. Let me think about that for a second. I'm trying to keep the ball rolling, so I'm looking for the words as I open my mouth. No, Tyson's my boy. I don't have to pick my words carefully with him. That's my dog.
No, he's awesome. I've seen him work with so many different fighters, and
great guy. Sure up his back type of guy. Very good.
Yeah. When did you know it was time to get a manager?
When did I know? In the back of my mind, I always wanted to work with Tyson.
Okay.
But that's a hard question because you never know. Like, I didn't sign with Top Game till after my first fight. Going into my second fight, I signed with Tyson, and I mean, you. I don't know how to answer that question. Nick's not a manager, and I'm not a manager, and so it's like, am I going to screw myself over, or am I going to, like I said, you need people that you can trust. Yeah. It's like, am I going to screw myself over and like do bad deals and like just get pushed around by promotions because you don't know what you're doing, so they can bully you, or do you have a manager that can't get pushed around because they know the game, they know the ins and outs? So that's when I knew I needed a manager. When it was like, okay, I know I can't get pushed around. I have someone that I trust, being Tyson, who, you know, will put me in the right direction, has a great management team, Top Game. And because I want to catapult, you know, my career into the UFC one day after I win that CES world title, because that is what's going to happen.
So your goal is to get the CES title, and then from there.
Yeah, that is 100% correct.
Nice.
If I got a call for a contender series before that, I would say, "Hey guys, no." But no, that's been a goal of mine since when I made my pro debut with CES, being one of their rostered guys. That's a big deal to me because it's a legit world title in my eyes, and if I could win that before contender series or anything like, or however, you know, destiny plays itself out, that would mean a lot to me. I would love to do that because I respect this organization, this promotion, as a legit promotion. So yeah,
no, it's very important that that fighters believe in the promotion that they are fighting for, because it's not only a representation of the promotion, it's a representation of you as a fighter.
Yeah.
So fighters, and so that's the reason why I'm asking, like, how important is it for a fighter to get a good management team? Because there has to be a point in a fighter's career where they decide, you know what? Because I'm pretty sure it's before they decided, yes, I want my fight career to go this, this avenue. But then it gets to a point where if they don't have the right people guiding them, it could jeopardize where their fight career is going to go.
Yeah, it'll take a turn for the worst.
Yeah. So it's important, and so it's kind of like for those people for the amateurs that are looking eventually to turn pro.
Yeah.
At what point do they feel like, yes, let me wait 2 or 3 fights, and if I feel, yes, this is the path that I want to keep going, then yes, let me look for 100%. A good management team.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean jump on the first person
exactly.
That comes, because I remember, was it my 3rd or 4th amateur fight? I already had like people asking about managing me, and I was like, I have nothing to offer you. What's the catch-22? Not saying there was, not, insulting these people, but it's not, don't jump on the first thing. Don't settle. And, be smart. Use your intuition, be smart, and do it as a business decision and nothing else. Think about it like, is this best for my business? You're your own business, you're your own brand. So are you doing what's best for you at the end of the day? And if it's not what's best for you and your career, then don't do it. And if people get upset about that, then you don't need them around, because if they're getting upset about you making the right choice for you, then they don't really care about you in the first place.
Yeah. And the key thing is that particular advice that you gave, not only does it apply to your fight career, it actually applies to your day-to-day life.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you should walk around and carry yourself, hold yourself to that standard. You don't need 1 million people around you. You don't need a bunch of yes men. You just need a few good, honest people that care about you. At the end of the day, you could put your trust in their hands. I'm not saying be a blind fool, don't just say, oh, I trust this guy. But use your intuition, be smart, don't jump on the first thing, and just, trust the process. And if you find out that it's not the right move and you not screwed up, but like it just wasn't what you thought it would be, put your ego aside, be honest with yourself, be able to acknowledge that, and just pick up and look for what you thought you were going to get, or don't be content.
Yeah.
Don't be content. But
have you always been with FAA?
I have.
Okay. I have. And what is it, or what feeling do you have with FAA that allows you to know that you are in the right place?
Can you ask me that one more time? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
How do you know that, not that you're in the wrong place? What I'm saying is, for other people, other fighters that are training in a particular gym and they don't know if that's their home. How did you figure that out so you can make it aware to other fighters who want to start fighting, as well as people that are already in there?
Well, I knew it. I felt it was my home. When I started with FAA, I didn't join the gym to become a fighter. Word for word, when I sat down with Nick Newell, I said, I miss that wrestling camaraderie. I miss that brotherly bond. That's why I want to join your gym. And that's why I joined. Fighting wasn't the reason, the driving factor. It wasn't until after I sparred a couple of times and I saw like, oh wow, I'm doing pretty good, blah blah blah. But if you're second guessing if that's a home, then that's your gut talking to you. Maybe that's the answer. But at never at any point have I ever like, oh, FA isn't like my home. you want to find a coach that you mesh well with. You know, like I said earlier, Nick plays many roles in my life, from being a head coach, mentor, like a friend of mine. Our kids play together. You know, it's like, so do we butt heads sometimes? Of course, but that's how the world is. Everyone, you know, everyone butts heads with everybody. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I don't know.
No, but it's true. It's like I've trained at different training centers, and the first one
yeah, go ahead. I was saying, not to cut you off, I don't think there's anything wrong with cross training either, or going to other gyms. Like that's when you brought that up, it made me think about that. Don't close yourself like, oh, if I train somewhere else, it's disloyal, or it's not. That's what I was talking about earlier, where I said do what's best for you. So just because you train somewhere doesn't mean you can't cross train. So I've gone to cross train places. Nick has come with me sometimes. It's like don't close yourself off. But if you're questioning, if you don't have the gut feeling that it's not your home and you're questioning that, then that's a different story. But never close yourself off to grow your skill set.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Because it's just like in a business, you know, when you're growing your business, you take seminars, you take trainings, you do all this stuff. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. This is your business. This is your life. This is your career. Yes. And this is your home. FAA is your home. You can also cross train so you can develop, you know, that particular technique that you have, that, you know, because when you train with the same people constantly over and over, you get to your body, you know, muscle memory. You already know how this one's going to throw the punch. You already know how this one's going to train with you. You already know all this stuff. So sometimes you have to test yourself. Go to a different place, cross train, and then it's like, oh, wow, this guy kind of fights like my partner over here, but he does it a little bit different. So it kind of like
breaks. Like,
yeah,
exactly, yeah. It's so good to go cross train, and I think that's one thing that me and Nick have that's very not rare, because I don't. Other gyms, other fighters probably must have it with their coach, I would assume. But mine and Nick's relationship is, if I'm feeling like, it's like, hey, if I said, hey, Nick, I feel like I want to go train here or do this, his first answer is, yeah, of course. Do you want me to set it up, or go ahead and do your thing? And it's like, I know for a fact. And like, so you need to have a coach that wants what's best for you. So if you feel like you want to go cross train, tell your coach that. And if your coach like gets butt hurt, and it's like your coach has an ego that needs to get checked.
Yeah. Yes. And then you wonder why some fighters, you know, they reach their limits where they have so much potential to keep excelling, but they've reached it because where they're at, they won't allow them to cross train, where it's like, well, if you go to this gym, then you're not here, you know, we got to kick you out. And it's just like, but
that's terrible. That's such a stupid thing. It's such a closed-minded mentality. Like, it's disgusting. Like, you have to do what's best for you. Like I said, don't screw people over. Don't be a scumbag. But there's nothing wrong with training with different people, going to different places. It's not the end of the world. And if I don't want to say if your coach treats it like the end of the world, then screw him, go somewhere else. But because I don't want to. I'm not on record. I'm not saying that. But, you know, just it's your business. Like you said, you have to do the right thing. You know, and I feel like a coach should respect that and be on board with that.
Yeah, it's very important to find that balance. How do you find a balance between your personal and your professional career?
Oh, easy. My professional career is my personal. I don't know the difference. No.
Perfect answer.
Perfect answer. Quick answer.
If it were only that easy.
All right, serious answer. I don't know. I really just, my personality, I have a very obsessive personality. So I am very obsessed with fighting and training. So my world kind of revolves around that. My personal life, I train at the gym every day. If I need a reset, I'll go for a hike. I hang out, I play with my daughter. Besides that, I don't like club. I don't go to bars. I don't have, my social life isn't like that. I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that question.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Yeah, all right. I feel like a loser right now.
Oh.
No life.
No, you have a perfect life. It's not about all these other crazy things that people are doing. If you enjoy, your environment, the people that you're with,
yeah,
you're living the life. You're living the dream because
I have a good group of people that I surround myself with. So I don't have to go out all the time, but when I decide to do something, I have the right people with me to, make it as good of the best experience that it can be. I understand sometimes that I need to treat myself. I treat myself, and that helps me reset, and it keeps me committed and dedicated in the gym, and it's why I'm always in the gym and so consistent.
It's perfect. Good job.
Hey, let's go. I knew we'd find it eventually.
Yes, we got it. What fight stands out the most in your fight career?
They're all equally the same.
Okay.
Not one single fight stands out because once that fight's over, I put it behind me. I don't hold on to any fight. Each fight I've learned and walked away with something different. My losses and my wins. A lot of all my wins, I'm very upset at myself. Every time I have a win, I critique myself so harshly. So there hasn't been a time I've won a fight where I'm like, oh wow, yay, good job. It's why didn't I do this? Why did I have more? So no fight they're all the same to me. I could have done better, and that's the end of it. And it makes me stay hungry and grow. No fight stands out more than the other one. I take everyone was a lesson, and it's got me better each time. And that's how it's going to be every single time. Even tomorrow night, I will be semi-happy with my performance after I win. There'll be things that I did or didn't do that I'll be pissed off at. I'll bring it back into the gym, and I'll stay fresh Play-Doh, and I'll mold, and I'll get better, and I'll keep growing.
Now, after a fight, what is your normal, process? Do you take time off?
So what I'll do is it's changed a little bit. It hasn't been the same each time. My training volume will go down. I probably won't. I'll be back into the gym on Tuesday after this fight. So usually I'll just hang around, watch, and I'll slowly ease back in. But I feel like it's very important after a fight you give your body, because a camp is very tough on the body. I feel like a good week to 2 weeks of resting, not being an idiot and drinking all the time and that stuff is a no-no. But just resetting your central nervous system and having a good time, getting some good experiences, that it's very important to have. It's very important after a fight to reset the nervous system, get you back into the gym and stay hungry. So that's what I'll do. I'll be back in the gym on Tuesday after this fight to teach, because I teach classes there, and back to normal routine. And that's it. I'll probably get back to training a week and a half to 2 weeks after this fight.
Awesome. Is there anything that you would like to share before we conclude with the interview, and you can relax and do whatever you do before a fight?
I've been relaxing this whole time. With you, I'm always relaxed with you. It's a nice conversation.
Exactly.
That's it. Anything I would like to add? Thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you. I know.
I don't know. That's it. I've said everything. I don't know. Tune in, watch live UFC Fight Pass. I don't know the exact lineup for the fights for tomorrow night, but I'm sure they'll be posting it soon. If you're coming to watch live in person, then you're in for a great experience. Whether you're gonna come to watch me specifically or just watch the fights in general, it doesn't matter. If you don't know me, you're not a fan. After you watch me fight, you will be a fan. I guarantee it. I always bring an exciting fight, and I will always bring a center fight no matter what. But I guess that's it. that's a good closer. Follow me on IG, Eddy George _MMA.
Twitter?
I don't get on Twitter like that. I need to step. I only downloaded Twitter and made an account because I was like, oh man, you're not a real professional athlete unless you have a Twitter. And I used it for a couple weeks, and I was like, I can't just give updates when I'm doing all the time. So it's on my phone, but I never do it. No,
but you do know that you can connect your Instagram to your Twitter. So whenever you post something on Instagram, you can link it so it automatically posts to your Twitter.
Learn something new every day.
You see, that's what I'm here for.
Maybe I'll get back on the Twitter then.
You will.
I don't even know my handle though, so I gotta figure that out first.
But once you figure that out, you can just link it and you're good to go.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. As I get off the phone with you, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay on this bed behind me, and I'm gonna link my Instagram to my Twitter.
All right, you better message me just so I can confirm that you did it.
I will. Okay, I promise. I promise I will do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the afternoon, evening, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you for taking time to speak with me. It was a pleasure. And yes, I will talk to you soon. You're watching the fights, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.